It's been a while since I've done a commentary, and this one I want to talk about this all elite wrestling. Now I say this as in because I'm indifferent. I really am. See, when I first, watching Kenny Omega first heard of the elite, I was like, okay, that's the elite. He's branching away from Bullet Club, and there was this whole hoopla with it. And I like how Tama Tonga was pissed, and he gave Kenny probably a half legitimate ass whooping in the ring. He was mad. Now Tama lost the match, but it made a statement. It really made a statement to New Japan. And it was a little bit of time before I started hearing the buzz of All In. I didn't know what it was. I heard Jim Cornette talking about it. I heard, who else? Jacqueline say something about it. And I listened to a few other podcasts, Jericho and others, they were talking about All In. But not one mentioned it was a wrestling show or anything thereof. Literally, no one. Even, back, my former channel, listening to, people was talking about All In. I think Tybo had mentioned something, and Dow Jones had mentioned something. And I'm like, All In what? I asked that question one time. All in what? That's when it was like 2 days old. And no one responded. And I guess their mindset was, how could you not know? If you're a wrestling fan, you should know. And see, I'm a work ethic wrestling fan, but I'm not fanatical. And that's the thing. I'm not fanatical. I know fan is short for fanatical, but I'm not out there. I am not rummaging through the garbage for every iota of information that I can find. That's just not me. I like work ethic style professional wrestling. That's what I like. Work ethic style. Not necessarily strong style. I think there's a time and place for strong style, and I'm not talking about Nakamura. I ain't talking about that. All right. I'm talking about actual strong style wrestling. I ain't talking about the weak stuff, but when it comes to All In, I looked and I was like, what is this? I couldn't find anything on any pay-per-views or anything like that. So I was like, obviously whatever this crap is, I'm gonna have to just miss out. All I knew was the names floated around was Cody, Kenny, Young Bucks and stuff. I was like, oh, okay. As Jim Cornette would call it, video game wrestling, and which was a term I was not happy with at first. And I was like, why are you calling it video game wrestling? And I thought about Kenny Omega's matches. I thought about Young Bucks matches. And I was like, oh, crap. I see. I see. And that brings me to really focus in on All Elite Wrestling, which I admit I like the logo. I'm looking at this here on Wikipedia. And I looked at their talent. Their talent says nothing about what we have come to know about Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks and Cody and them. Cody is just, he's a mixture. And I realized Cody can do anything but legitimate strong style or softened strong style. And it's like he can do work ethic style wrestling, but I question, Cody seems up in the air about a lot of stuff. Very egotistical. That's not good. That's not good for any company. When you got egos, that means ego means I come first. That's the problem with this. Now, when it comes to Kenny Omega losing his title, I was like, I could tell that he's something. I was like, he might keep it because I know New Japan and everybody sucks the knob of Kenny Omega. And that bothers me because when you're blind, when you're blinded by the mega stardom of someone, you allow things that should not be allowed. I'm just saying, for reference, don't turn it off yet, but it gives an R. Kelly effect to things. Now, Kenny Omega, someone I'm not thoroughly a fan of. I was starting to like him at one point. I was really starting to get behind Kenny Omega. I was starting to be like, oh, this is the guy. But then it kind of went back. He started looking like a work ethic style wrestler. Then he, in like a month and a half, he went back. And then there was talk about his contract being up, and he does his yearly contract like Sting, which is smart. But then he's kind of like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I was like, oh, it is crap. And this right here, when it comes to all these, it's a promotion. Okay. And I'm like, this is good. Why is All Elite Wrestling good? What's positive about it? It's simple. People, wrestlers, need a place to go. They need a place to work. It's their income. It's their livelihood. It's their passion. No one wrestles for 5 years that don't care about wrestling. That even if they act like they're like, if they mark out for themselves like Kenny King and stuff and just trying to get over on something, then, but they still wrestling, there's something there. There's something there beyond that selfishness, that money-driven thing. So, and Kenny King ain't here, but still, I'm like, I'm looking, I see Kima, Chris Jericho. Look, I'm going to go to this one by one. You know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to break this down one by one and all that stuff. All right? Because this right here, when you go to Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, people like that, that's why it's called video game wrestling. They don't rest, not too much. It's just spot after spot. They're spot monkeys. It's a spot fest. They wow the crowd, yes. But it's like they just keep going and going. Get your shit in, and that's it. And it never looks like a competition with them. That's my problem. But, you know, and that's going to be someone's issue with me. Because they're going to say, oh, you're not this generation's wrestling fan. Here's the thing. Pro wrestling isn't about generation. Pro wrestling is about the ethics of pro wrestling. Pro wrestling had ethics. It had codes. And when you lose that and you let the fans dictate what it is, then you have started to lose any credibility of professional wrestling. And pro wrestling needs credibility, because without it, you're going to get exactly what I fear the most out of this promotion that we need. We need a rival to other stuff. And they don't even have to necessarily be a rival, just someplace that's going to do well and pay people to do something that they love. So All Elite Wrestling, I am pulling for it to be a success so people can live their lives. But yet, here's the thing about it in general, and I'll get to these wrestlers quick, but if you do the same things over and over and people start to catch on to your platform, they see how your matches are going to go, they know what to expect, it becomes boring. That's the problem. So right now the fanboys, whether it's girls or guys or anything in between or outside thereof, what's going to happen is they're going to see it, they're going to love it. Yay, it's my person, I love my wrestler, I love him, I love him, I love him. But how long will that lust last before the relationship gets a little bland and you start to see things for what it really is, and that honeymoon is over? That's when you know what fans you have and don't have. That's what's important. So, Kima, don't know anything about Kima. I'm not going to lie. I don't know anything about him. Seen the name many times, and if I've seen this person wrestle, it's nothing that I remembered. Because it all depends on how a company uses someone that makes them memorable. It's not that wrestler necessarily. Sometimes it's the company. Chris Jericho, he came to New Japan, beat the hell out of Naito, beat the hell out of someone else, beat the hell out of Evil, and then loses the belt to Naito. I mean, it was Jericho. I ain't gonna lie, Jericho just took a dump on New Japan Pro Wrestling. That was just pointless. But it was also to get his name back in the limelight, which he didn't have to do because Jericho is Jericho is over, all right? Not over what? It's over. No, Jericho is mad popular. And I was honestly, as much as I didn't like how Jericho came into New Japan, I loved the fact that he hadn't missed a beat. He hadn't missed a beat. He kept the same pace and everything. He was a little bigger, but Jericho was as crisp as he was when I first started watching him in WCW, Lionheart. Christopher Daniels hadn't missed a beat or anything. But wherever Chris goes, Frankie goes. And I read this list from the bottom up, so I saw Frankie Kazarian first. I was like, well, Christopher got to be somewhere. And yep, just a couple up. Christopher Daniels, work ethic style wrestler, awesome. Frankie Kazarian, roughly the same thing. Love him. Cody, he's like weird work ethic style wrestling, but he can't do stiff style wrestling. Cody look, Juice whooped his ass and I enjoyed that. Juice showed me something. I hope Juice can use that in his big matches, because Juice should be a lot higher in sort of the match cards than what he is. L. Lindemann, I don't know who that is, but I guess going on L is someone supposed to be pretending to be Spanish or Mexicano descent. Let's see. Okay, Hangman, Adam Page. Man, I love me some Adam Page. Man, music, awesome. Work ethic style, stiff style. He got that down. He should have been a champion a while ago. Him leaving New Japan, I don't even blame him. Him leaving Ring of Honor, I don't even blame him. For a few reasons, I'll get to that later. Joey Janela, heard but never seen. Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, I already spoke about him. It's no work ethic. It's just move after move after move after move. And eventually, someone comes out the winner, usually them. Usually. And I get tired of seeing the same damn spots every match. When it's going to happen. It's boring. It's like WWE. Good grief. Well, I haven't really watched WWE, but WWF, which is pretty much the same thing. Let's see. Maxwell Jacob Friedman, don't know who that is. MJF, don't know who that is. Pac, I've heard of Pac. I've seen him a couple of times. I have no memory because it's been that long. Scorpio Sky. Look, Scorpio Sky, I've seen him. I like him. And obviously SCU. So obviously he's going to be there. I don't know if he's going to retain his gimmick with them. I don't know what's going on with that, but Scorpio Sky being a trainer for New Japan Pro Wrestling here in America. So I'm happy to see that he's doing something. Takahiro Yamamoto, I don't know who that is, but hopefully they'll be good. And T-Hawk, don't know who that is. Look, Ring of Honor, they messed up because they went corporate. And when you go corporate, corporations do what? They do their best to maximize profits, and they can't maximize profits without lowering the cost, that the price of their talent. So you lower how much the venue costs, you lower how much you pay your talent, you do all that other stuff, and what do you get out of it? You get nothing. You get people leaving, doing anything they can to go elsewhere. And I fear with these billionaires backing All Elite Wrestling, that's what's going to happen to these guys. You put them on the stock market and you stop pleasing the fans and running your business into running a business. So when business gets into pro wrestling like that, it kills it. That's the first thing that always killed pro wrestling. But these are my thoughts on it. Please tell me yours down in the comment section below. This is Cedric for CR Wrestling, for CR Wrestling Commentary, for CR Fire Pro. Thank you for listening.